Morning. Welcome back to Irish Outlaw Garage. Today we are getting the motor trans ready, and we are also getting the kill mat in our floor of our 72 Cutlass. So we'll show you what it looks like right now, and then me and Zeppy are going to get after this. It acts like it wants to rain, and it's drizzled a little, and so we're on a time crunch here to get this thing as far as we can today. So let's get after it. Okay, so a couple things I did because I knew it was going to rain. Went ahead and painted the motor, and you'll notice I got it on the intake. He wants it to be silver, but I thought about painting it all one color. It is loose because that has to come off, and we have to reseal it. I got a new gasket, new valley pan gasket, everything. So we'll get to that in a second. So we need to get some of these holes filled, and they ain't just too bad, so I'm not worried about those. We can put some like watertight caulking in there for now. That'll work. And then this one here, I'm not so sure. We're gonna probably put something over that and glue it down, I guess, for now, just to keep it from rusting. And there's some little holes here and there, but I think we're just gonna have to let her fly for now, huh, buddy? I did get the new seats ordered. I got everything coming, but the back seat we're not sure yet. Amber's gonna look at that, see if she wants to tackle that. So let's get this kill mat in. Moving right along. I lost my roller, so we have to do everything by hand. We're just using sockets to kind of roll it flat on some places, but Zeppy's getting the hang of it. There you go. That'll keep the heat out of here too, because them headers come right here, and boy are they warm. Okay, I think we're good. If I want to, I get some more and cover all that, but it's not absolutely necessary. But the exhaust is back there, so every little bit will help. But this thing is ready to carpet, and my new seats won't be in until the middle of the week. So pretty interesting. We're gonna try something different. Anyway, all right, onward to another coat on that motor. All right, we're gonna let this sit for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and repaint that engine. We need to get that intake off of there. So see you in a bit. Things have escalated around here. Probably to a point where we're really going too far with this, but we made a mistake at trying something, and now we're gonna be paying for it, aren't we, buddy?
Yeah.
What we're doing here, we're just taking some Super Clean from our friends at Super Clean, and we're cleaning up these headers. I already scraped them down with the wire brush to get some of the rust off of them, but there's oil and some other things on them, and we're gonna paint these, make them a little nicer. So I'm just taking Super Clean and scrubbing it in, and then once we get this done, Zeppy man there is gonna paint them. We're just getting what needs to be cleaned up, trying to get things moving here, because when I say things have escalated, now we got a whole new outlook on
Gutless.
So she's not gonna be gutless anymore.
Yeah.
And it wasn't gutless to begin with, but now
Now she ain't gonna be gutless.
Yeah, this is, why did you let me do that? Should have never tried that. Now we ain't got no choice. We gotta do it. Well, I'm just taking the Super Clean, I'm scrubbing down where oil got on it and some of the rust, that way it'll take paint. Ain't no use for getting all crazy with the pressure washer, even though we need to wash the engine bay out a lot now. But just getting the grease and oil and crap, and I'm gonna rinse them off, and they'll be ready for paint when they're dry. Yeah, we've gotten just a little ridiculous with this build now, since most of the main stuff is done. We have everything we need, so Why not make it look pretty cool, huh? Zeffy's getting the headers painted. Doused them down with brake clean before we painted them. He's just getting the first coat on them. We don't care about runs or anything, do we, buddy? They're gonna burn down anyway. Okay, this engine bay cleaned up because that's the next thing. I'm cleaning up on that motor. Pretty much got everything for it. Torque converter's in the house, transmission's right there. Once we get this cleaned up and painted, that sumbitch can go in there. So we need to get rid of this. It's not doing us any good. So first things first, violence. How much do we want sticking out? None? Okay. That actually broke. This condenser was bad. You know, you find things once in a while. Dude.
That our hood latch?
That's the hood latch. It's just hanging in there. Okay. I think we'll, where is the hood latch on this thing? Up under there? It's right there. Holy shit.
Oh no.
The things you find. I'll try to get that working. While we're in here, we're gonna, I sprayed my leg. Maybe now my old ass leg won't squeak. Trash!
Oh
man, come on. Get all this blown out and washed. Get that blown out and washed. We'll get the pressure washer out with our super clean. We'll suck this thing down. We need to get these off of here. We ain't using that. Internally regulated. Ooh, that's rusty. This we gotta stay. Could use a new one, I think. Probably a good idea. We'll replace that. Oh, mud daubers behind the windshield wiper motor. Maybe that's why they don't work. All right, so I got me my big jug of super clean that they sent me and my siphon. For some reason, my pressure washer ain't sucking super clean out no more. For anything for that matter, so who knows. You only pay money for something that lasts for a year, you know, nowadays, but this works just as good and there's no water. I'm going to spray down the inside of this engine compartment and then we're going to start up that pressure washer and I'm going to get this thing spritzed out pretty nice. That way we can paint it because we're that far. So we want to get things ready. I had to order a couple extra parts just now. That won't be here till the middle of the week, so hopefully we get back to this as soon as we can, but we still might be able to get the motor trans together, stuff like that. But definitely the next video, motor and everything will be in this car and we'll be able to drive it. So let's go. Like that. By the way, you'll want to have a mask on and don't be right in the wind of that because it vaporizes it and it will choke your ass out. Just so you know. Everything has escalated since we decided to go a certain route with the fuel system, fuel delivery in this car.
So all this crap has got to come out. You don't have a choice because we want this shit clean. This is all broken. Oh, look! What do we got there? That was broken anyway. Heads to the right.
Oh!
Damn.
You're on a 2-point losing streak.
Yep. There's that good old. Yep, let's yank that out. That we are saving because we can turn this in for money.
Yeah.
Let me see your camera there, bud. You say we had a mouse problem. Let's get this the rest of the way out. We just got to take the stuff out of the inside, and then we'll pop this out whenever that goes, and then we'll just put a. Looks like that's about license plate size, bud. I've never done this with one of these, but what did I miss? Did I miss it? Nope, nope. Oh, come on.
Way over.
Way off. But let me double check all this and then we'll get this out of there. Hopefully I don't have to take the fender off to get that out. I hope not. I don't think I do. But I guess I'm gonna find out, ain't I? Alright, let's keep going.
I don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that.
No, I don't want to have to take the fender off.
But then again, that door problem is a little. Is that a yellow jacket?
So the violence got really violent. Sawzall. Now this is gone. So I'm gonna cut the rest of this off. I'm just gonna fill it full of spray foam. And we're done. We can push this out. But this was all original in here from the factory. It's factory GM hose, GM clamps. So get this shit out of here. And we're in. Good as snuff, man. And there we have it. Need that. Oh, man. Forgot about that.
What?
All the stuff from the
Glove box?
yeah, from the control. We're gonna paint this up over here first. Really need to do this too, but I'll have to get a piece of cardboard to do it. Rebuild the rust. Now we let that sit for a little while. It is very, very poorly white trash done, but that's the way we do it around here. So everything's pretty well covered. I have a few more things to get, but I want to get that big hole covered and that little hole covered first, and then we got to worry about the rest of these because there's a bunch of little ones, and that right there is supposed to be over further, and I plan on making it that way. But this needs to dry. This was all still wet, so I didn't mess with it. It's fine. We can do that another time. And this, because you know I might be leaning over this thing. So what do you think? Pretty good? Mm-hmm. All right. If you say it's good, it's your fault if people bitch. Well, other than this front part, like I said, because it's wet. Haha! Holes filled. Looks pretty damn good. We got to clean out the inside now, and I'll probably have to put some self-tappers facing this way to hold that heat shield up in there, but then I can just come out here and cut them off. It depends. Maybe we'll just use some two-sided tape, maybe something. Or we could just take it off and put some kill mat up there. I need to order more anyway. But let me get this inside of this cleaned out, and then we're going to go ahead and start getting the transmission hooked to this bad boy. So we got our torque converter here. This is a 46022 Boss Hog. This is ACC Performance, and I called Nelson down there at ACC Performance, and he recommended, he wanted me to use an Outlaw one, but it was way out of my budget. This was in my budget, and this is a 22 to 2800 stall. 24-ish, 26 is probably about where we're going to be at because of the gear ratio and the tires. But we should be able to, if we ever decide to swap these, you know, rear end, the gears or anything, we should be just fine. But yeah, Boss Hog, it's ACC Performance. You can buy these about anywhere. He makes a lot of the converters out there that you don't know about, and his daughter, who's just older than Zeppelin, does the welding, and it is fantastic. So the first thing we're going to do before we pull the transmission out here, we got to check our pilot, our clearance of our flywheel bolts, and make sure we line up. It's just like a clutch. It's got a pilot on it. It goes inside the hole, and right there it matches with our inside, or our holes to hook it up. And if you look down in there, you can see that there's plenty of room between the bolts of the flex plate and the actual flywheel, or the torque converter itself. So we're good. Got the bolts all ready. I got some awesome old school grade 8s that we're going to use in this, and yeah, let me get those bolts cleaned up and we'll get this transmission on this motor. Alright, so had Amber grab us some Valvoline. We don't have Type F Walmart brand, and that's what Nelson told me to use. We don't have anything like that around here, and this is what I've always had recommended to me. So Nelson, I'm sorry, this is what we're putting in it. At least it's a name brand and not, you know, regular stuff. Ooh, see that? It's gonna take a minute. Small torque converter, but it's got to get in all the clutches and all that stuff. Once this gets down, I'll shake her around a little bit, and that'll help get everything going. So we'll get this, and then we'll get it in the transmission. We'll start hooking this thing to that motor. Maybe we'll put it in. I don't know. It's getting kind of late. Plus, we have to drop it off the jack stands, and I'm not ready to do that yet. So we'll be back to you in a little bit. That thing is taking forever. A little bit of air at a time. There it goes, see? It's been at it for about a half an hour. And I'm not kidding, and I'm not putting that in there until it's done. In the meantime, we went ahead and put the back wheels on. Pretty cool, huh? I love this car. That thing is still bubbling, and it's been an hour and a half. Yes, I am going to take that long. It's getting dark, but got the carpet just kind of set back in here. Needs vacuumed again, and all the dash is completely good. The friggin' motor compartment looks awesome. Too shiny, way too shiny. But then I got another thing I've been doing. There's our headers. Zeppy's been doing that. You can tell because the runs, but that's okay. We got enough to do a couple coats on them. That'll get rid of those runs. But I fished out the old hood. This is the hood that was on the car, but it was bent because they didn't latch it and it flew up when they were transporting it way back in the 90s, like early 90s. And it's rusty and muddy and crappy. But I just kind of did my best version like I did on Bonnie, and there's little dents. Could I go underneath there and fix that better? Yep. This line here I'll probably get a little bit straighter, and then we'll just clean this hood off and we're going to use it. Why are we going to use this hood instead of the other one? I'll talk about that later. I'm going to go eat some spaghetti that Amber made. She makes homemade sauce. It's really good. Then I'll show you what we're doing. Well, it's that time. Let's see if we can't do this without making a mess. Probably not. Oh!
A little bit.
Oh, 1, 2. Oh yeah, she's in there. Well, we got one more. I think that was it. The first one was initially right on. Oh yeah, she's in there. Okay. She's in there. Alright. Then we check torque converter moves. And it does. Sweet! Let me get a wrench. Make sure good and snug. Oh yeah. There we go. She's on there. Woo! Well, I've been on this thing all weekend, plus had to deal with Artemis's bullshit. So that's going to be it for this one. I got a couple more parts coming for the EFI system. But I showed you that I had the other hood out, the original hood. It's a little dented up, things like that. But we're going to go ahead and use it. And let me show you why.
Let me show you the epitome of holding my beard.
Ha ha! Look at that thing!
And it even matches the license plate.
Yeah, Amber pointed that out to be exactly what that means. Yes, sirs. Yes, ladies. The Tunnel Ram 455. I've had this for a long time, and it was for this. I bought this Tunnel Ram, and you can see here that there's an extra spacer underneath. That's because this is the Dominator, the wider base, and I'm gonna have to adapt it to this. You can still get the tops for these, but I'm not gonna mess with it right now. It'll work just fine. If you'll notice, that is the Aces Killshot 2. So this thing is gonna be fuel injected, 455 with a tunnel ram, and we got everything to do it. It was already a torque monster. Let's see what EFI does to it on a tunnel ram. There's my new transmission that my friend Tony built. Installed is that Boss ACC Performance Boss Hog torque converter. We still have different valve covers, and I got to get a few more things for the engine and maybe a couple more paint things, but we'll see. And you saw the white. We think that the white headers are going to look fantastic on here. So yeah, guys, you're going to want to tune in for the next video, because damn,
this thing might run.
yeah. But I got to tell you one thing. Damn, we said, who was that? And he goes, oh,
That's Tony. Yeah, transmission guy, Tony. He just was driving by and he decided to stop by and tell us, make sure you put a good transmission cooler on that. And then I showed him what I was doing and he did not disagree with what I was doing. So now we're gonna get us a new radiator for sure, and we're gonna get its, you know, our outboard transmission cooler. So anyway, guys, it's getting late. I gotta get up in the morning and go to work, and he's got to go to school. Please go to the thing right there, the Printify store, and get you some merch. We got all kinds of stuff, including these badass hats. Lots more to come with that. And then we want to thank our sponsors, lugnutguys.com, Super Clean, Aces EFI. You just saw the new one right there. And then we got Roadkill Customs, my buddy Buzz over at roadkillcustoms.com. Make sure you go check him out. Check out Evil Energy. It's evilenergy.com. That's with an I, evilenergy.com. We still got a ton of work to do, don't we? Why are not you not doing it? His face is all muddy and greasy and paint and everything. Anyway, we gotta go. Take care.